What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 77 of Lured Up, the podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Today is Sunday, May 5th, 2019. I'm your host, Ken Pescator, joined by my co-hosts, Adam Tuttle and Melissa Pescator.
That's me.
Hello, friends.
We are here. Mayo.
It's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, grab
Adam,
your margaritas.
Are you drunk?
No.
Melissa really wanted to go out and drink margaritas so bad today.
I did, but it was all yucky.
She comes back with a coffee in her hand. I go, what happened? I go, that is not a margarita. It wasn't the same. Little foreshadowing into the show. Apparently there is a wild, drunk Terry Wolf roaming around Chicago right now.
Oh God!
So we're gonna be calling him in a little while, and we'll live vicariously in spirit through drunk Terry Wolf. But we are not alone today. We are joined by Yaya from Couple of Gaming. Yaya, how are you? Welcome.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're glad you're
joining
here.
us.
Long distance guests are the best. I always think that's fun, and that's easy for me to say because it's only 10:30 at night or 9:30 at night here. But it's, what is it, 4 a.m. by you?
Yeah, it's 3:42 a.m.
You are, man. Well, thank you so much for dealing with the East Coast time zone here in the States, because that's pretty hardcore. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
No, absolutely. All right, a little housekeeping really quick before we get into the show. This podcast is powered by Patreon. Please check ours out over at patreon.com/gottawatchemall, where you can support this show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people.
Oh, it sure is. And there are some good ones.
Oh, it's been crazy this week.
It's getting crazier.
Yeah, we've got some good.
Yeah, it's been good. I want to give a huge shout out to our show supporter tier patrons, Brittany J, Jessica, Matt, M. Pitts, Terry, David, Chris, Sydney, Bacon L, The Noise, Harry, PokeNavBot, Purple Pancakes, Tim Gears be banging, and holy shit, we had a whole bunch of people join into Discord tier this week. We had 3 Johns, John, and Johnny. We had Curtis, we had Young, and Stacy. Thank you guys.
I saw today somebody joined that his name was something Llama. the Doug the Llama.
Doug the Llama.
Doug the Llama.
So the Discord's been popping off, and really this is kind of all culminating in this new promotion that we're doing over at Patreon, Friday Night Fights, where we're going to be organizing some tournaments through Silph Arena, and every Friday night we're going to get around to duking it out and having some fun, either in voice chat or just through Discord. And we launched the beta this weekend, and the tournament already concluded. It was a lot of fun. We did an unranked tournament, Great League Open Rules, and it was a ton of fun. And join the Discord for $1 a month. We'll fast track you to get Ultra with everyone in the crew. We've got Unbreakable Lisa that's managing the whole thing. She's really helping out and kind of keeping a fire under everybody's ass to open some gifts, get up to Ultra, and then we duke it out on Friday nights and over the course of the weekend. So a lot of fun over there on Patreon. And the biggest shout out to our executive producer, Paul Bott. Thank you so much, Paul, for your support. We really appreciate it. All right, on today's show, we're going to get to know Yaya from Couple of Gaming. After the interview, we will talk about Azelf. We've had some time here with the Lake Trio. We'll have a battle party at the end of the show for Azelf here in the States. Details have been announced for Pokemon Go Fest in Dortmund, Germany. We'll talk about that. There's a May box sale, and then, like I said earlier, a live call to a drunk, wild Terry Wolf roaming the streets of Chicago. But, Yaya, let's get to know you, man. Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, and we'll start with the basics there. How are you?
Yeah, so thanks again for having me. I'm Yaya, one of the 2 guys behind Couple of Gaming. I'm from Germany, and sharing this Instagram site with my girlfriend Iso, basically creating infographics on a daily basis for the Pokemon Go community for you guys.
Well, thank you so much, because you make my life so much easier.
I know, I'm always just
You're
like,
welcome.
all right, Couple of Gaming in the search. I was like, all right, what tasks do I have? All right, this is the one I'm looking for.
I was going to ask about the couple. Now, I understand it's 4 a.m. over there, so that makes complete sense. But why don't you break down your history with the Pokemon franchise? Prior to Go, did you have any experience with the brand?
So we both have been Pokemon trainers since 1999.
Yes.
I'd say. Yeah, so for a very long time, we both started with the red and blue versions, obviously on the old Game Boy. And then through all the years, basically we have played like every generation that has come out until Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Yeah,
Yeah,
should be.
that's great. That's great.
Touched on the TCG a bunch of times, TCG Online, and yeah, basically everything that's Pokemon has been played by us.
That's awesome.
Wow,
At
that's
some
That's
point.
great. You know, it's always cool to hear. One, when people's relationships with Pokemon start all the way back in the 90s, that's always fun. And, you know, I have to ask, were you a red or were you blue?
I have been Team Blue.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Another one in my corner.
But I have to admit that my favorite starter is Charmander.
Yes. Okay. I'll take it. A consolation prize. I'll take it. But no, Adam always is trying to find people that played blue because that was his jam back in the day. But all right, so that's great. Big long history with the franchise. Fast forward to the present. Your Pokemon Go team. I'm assuming you're on Mystic. What's your favorite Pokemon?
No, I am on Team Instinct.
Dude, there's been so many Instinct people coming on the show.
I don't know what
Adam,
it
what's
is.
going on, man?
Well,
What's going on?
we're the
And-
underdogs, but we're the best people in the game.
Yeah,
That's
have you
it.
have you been Instinct since the beginning?
Yes, since the beginning.
And no thought of changing
funny how
since
this
the token came out?
No, never. So we were sitting down and discussing which team to choose, and we were thinking like, yeah, maybe they'll give the legendary birds assigned to the team, so only that legendary bird is going to be given to you.
Right.
And then we were thinking like, which type would like to have, and then it was Zapdos would be the strongest electric type Pokemon, and then we were like, okay, let's go with Zapdos.
You know, it's funny to hear like how people choose teams because I've heard plenty of people relate it to the birds, you know, and think like, oh, well, I'm a huge Moltres fan. I've got to go with Valor, or, you know, I really like Zapdos, or I just like blue, or
I just like the color blue. It's pretty.
I mean, yellow's my favorite color, so naturally I chose Instinct.
Yeah, and we also thought that maybe the team would have some impact on the game flow. So, like, Spark was, what was he doing? Like, breeding or?
Yeah, I
What
think.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Everyone had like one kind of like, just like the professors in the main series, they had a focus, whether it was breeding
Exactly.
or battling or, you know, things like that. But yeah, that would have been cool if they fleshed that out, if they would have given some actual weighting to the teams that you chose. Maybe you got a specific buff or an advantage in one area of the game based on team. Yeah, that would have been cool.
Maybe, hopefully in the future, who knows?
The game is young. That's what I always say when people say like, "Oh man, I really wish this would have been in the game." It's like, look, you never know. The game is exceptionally responsive, you know. So if enough people want it, you know, it could definitely become a reality. That's not too far fetched of a thing. But so you've been a fan of the franchise forever, and
Forever.
now when Pokemon Go comes out, what was it that triggered you to start creating graphics or start creating these resources, and how long have you guys actually been doing that?
So this goes way back when the first, what was it, when Kyogre and Groudon were teased at the what was it, 2018. There was this Sky event.
Yes.
It was called the Legendary Week.
Yes.
That's what it's called. And they announced that if Kyogre and Groudon win the fight against Rayquaza, then a bunch of Pokemon are going to be hatching from eggs. And we were like, what's going to hatch from eggs? So we looked up the internet and was like, we don't really know, and nobody does really have any information being put together on some sort of an image. And we were like, hey, let's create one our own and upload it to Instagram and see how people are going to respond to it. And this was when we got approached by Antonio, the admin of Pokemon Go Hub. And he was like, hey guys, would it be okay for you if I post this on our Twitter? And we completely freaked out at that point.
Hell yeah.
It's like, what? What's an amazing opportunity? Pokemon Go Up is going to post our noobish graphic that we just put together as some fun idea and promote our name and stuff. And we're like absolutely freaking out at this point.
That's cool that it just happens like that. Someone sees it and it's like, hey, can I use it?
Like,
hey,
I
work for
good
Go Hub.
idea.
Yeah.
Let's work together.
That's awesome. And I guess when it really comes to the visual format, because there's so many resources out there. I did a roundtable last night with PvP creators, and I had PokeBattler and PvPoke.com on there, and these guys are hardcore data nerds of creating these sites that have all this stuff, but it's a different method of delivery when it comes to how to get that data and that information out to the community. Now, the infographic thing, from a Pokemon Go perspective, people love their infographics, like everything, because there's so much data that being able to have something so handy is very efficient, because you can get all that information in one spot. Now, that's kind of, when you think of Instagram, that's kind of like a match made in heaven. If you're creating images that, can fit in a nice, square, Instagram's like the absolute perfect format. Like, is that your main method of delivery to get this content out?
Yeah, so we obviously every time try to get everything in that squared format so people can have it in their little preview and instantly know, oh, I have to tap on that image here to get to, I don't know, the raid boss, the current raid boss.
Right.
So to see everything in place and have everything handy in one spot, so you don't need to read a bunch of text to know what you're looking for, and then you see it and then you know instantly what's going on.
Yeah, it's like flipping back through a notebook.
Exactly.
Without having it like right there, because you can screenshot it and you can make that like your home screen or something, so you can just go back from the game straight to that.
What I do is I'll grab a bunch of the images and I'll create a photo album in the phone, and then I'll dump all the resources into that one photo album, so that way, when someone asks a question at a raid and I want to feel cool, like I know what I'm talking about, I could just pull out the phone, swipe over to the photo album, and I have all the information there, and then then I look like the rock star because I have all the answers right away. And that the infographics make that very, very easy. What I was thinking is have you ever considered doing like a Discord bot or anything like that, where you can kind of get this stuff automatically delivered to Discord channels? Have you ever thought of that?
What would that exactly be? So I've never heard of something like that before.
You can create what they call a webhook within Discord, which can pretty much link to a Twitter feed. So if you're going to be putting stuff out on Twitter, it will grab the tweet and then deliver it to specific Discord servers. And you would just need to kind of have that webhook implemented into each, whatever server. So in my Discord server for our Patreon, I have a webhook set up where I'm pulling like the official Pokemon Go tweets out, and then those tweets automatically get delivered to my community as they happen. So that way, if they're not on Twitter, or they don't have notifications on for Twitter, but they do for my Discord, then they'll get the notification via Discord. It's just another method of delivery of how to get content out. And I'm thinking, oh man, this would be great. I wish I had something where, I was like, I want to build a webhook out and grab your stuff. So that way, whenever an infographic comes out, it'll automatically push to my Discord, and then my Discord community
that would be
will have
fantastic.
access. I know. So I was like, I got to tell him that. I go, we got to.
Interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, we got to set that up, because there's ways you can write out bots and things like that to do this automatically, where a server can ultimately grab the. I'm not technically savvy like that, so I don't know what they would grab, but they would grab it, download it to their server, and then that would happen. For me, I can build manually. I can build the webhook, using some, I Googled it one day and just kind of fell down this rabbit hole of how to write webhooks out, and, figured it out and got it up and running. But all you need is a Twitter account. So I could just build one out in my server and just grab that data. I think I'm going to have to do that the same way I did for Pokemon Go official account, because this stuff is just so relevant, and it's so handy. And you guys are like so incredibly fast. I mean, is it always a race against the clock to get the stuff out?
So I would say it is pretty important to be one of the first to push out news. but you have also got to be very careful to not put out false information.
Yep.
So be fast, but have exact correct information on what you're posting about. On the other hand, you have your community that always looks out for your graphics, and even if you're not one of the first people that's pushing out some kind of new event graphic or something, then people would wait for your graphic to get out there.
Well, I mean, that's something that I've seen too, where you can, without even seeing the logo or the watermark on the image, I kind of know where the images are coming from, because everyone's got their own style. Everyone's got their own art style and design. And one of the things I like with your content is it's very easily identifiable. So it's easy to be trusted. So if I see a certain graphic, I say, oh, I know exactly where that's coming from. Just by looking at it, I can tell it's your style, the way, the raid bosses are laid out or the research is laid out. It's like, oh, I feel right at home here. I'm all good. So
yeah, that's
everyone's always racing.
We always try to make an honor on our graphics to get them as easily understandable as possible, to not have unnecessary information on them, but on the other hand, also having the most possible information that you would need. So, for example, on a raid boss graphic, we don't usually put the raid boss's moveset there, because we think that this wouldn't be so impactful. If you know what moves a raid boss is going to have, you won't change your decision on whether you're going to battle it or not. But you would want to know what counters you want to use, what its perfect catch CP would be, and maybe its typing.
I'd imagine that all that information is competing for real estate, because you have a very limited format, as far as, how much space you have and to squeeze in all this information without making it so small that, that you'd have to squint or enlarge it really big. You know what I mean? Like it's all got to be there. So yeah, I'd imagine that you really only want to get the real pertinent stuff and the relevant stuff out there. So that way you're not, you're not wasting real estate. Now, one thing that I've really been getting into lately is PvP. Have you thought about, doing stuff for PvP, like creating kind of graphics that would cover like the Silph Arena metas or anything like that? Have you ever considered that?
We did that before for the Kingdom Cup lately.
Okay, good.
We had like the meta for the Kingdom Cup, which Pokemon counters which Pokemon, what the optimal moveset would look like, and it got pretty good response from the community. But these type of stuff need a lot of research, so you gotta have your PvP guys who do all the research on which Pokemon to choose or which Pokemon counters which Pokemon in the current PvP meta or in the current themed cup. And over at GoHub we have all these people who are the pros in their area. So you have the PvP guys, you have the box analysis guys, and when they have the information ready and they want us to create a graphic for that, or we ask them if they could get the information for us, then we put the graphic out there, sure.
That's interesting, like the way that process works. So when they're creating a page for GoHub, I know that there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people that are kind of all working together to get this stuff out. So if they're doing something where that they require a graphic for, they'll kind of get the information together and let you know what they want on it, and then you kind of produce the image, and is there like a check and balance system, the way that goes back and forth? I'm just intrigued by that process.
Yeah, so it's really not that strict. So if we have a topic we want to do a graphic about but don't have the know-how, we are some kind of a big family over there at Go. We are not like co-workers or something. We are like a big group of nerds who play this game on a daily basis.
The community.
And want to report about it.
Community.
Yeah. So basically, if we want something and don't know how, then we ask the guys over there if they know where to get the information from. And otherwise, when they have information and want a graphic, then they can always ask us or get help from us if they need something.
I mean that's as ideal of a relationship as you would want. It's that you need information, you've got the greatest resource ever, to pull data from, and if they need graphics, they've got a great resource. So that sounds like a really cool relationship. Again, when you have that community aspect of, we're all doing this for fun, we're all doing this is a passion project for 99% of the creators out there. This is a passion play. You know what I mean? So it's when you have that kind of drive and that kind of heart and soul, it does create good content, and, collaboration is definitely the key. I was so cool seeing you guys get hooked up with GoHub, because I was like, man, it's just like awesome. Like I see it's the co-branding is everywhere now. I was like, that's massive. That's super cool.
Now, do you use any specific apps or anything, or does it just go, are you like on your computer making this happen, or?
Yeah, so most of the work is being done in Photoshop. We used to do some sort of mobile edits on the fly, but they don't have this high quality standard like when you're working on Photoshop, obviously. So lately we have been doing all our work on our laptops here.
Okay.
Good. Yeah,
or on our PC.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get the highest fidelity, if you're...
Yeah, I was just curious, because these are so, like, well put together.
But that's a good point, because it's like so much stuff is capable on the phones now. Look at some of the AR
Photo
edits.
editing.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's all happening on the device. That's more valid. It's a very valid question, because it's so relevant, because so much is happening on device, which is so cool.
I mean, you can do a lot of on your mobile phone for sure, which is really, really close to Photoshop level, but it's still not on that high level of working on a laptop or PC.
Crispy
Quality.
crispy images,
yeah.
amazing, just like nice, crisp, sharp lines. But I've got a community question for you. This one's from King IV. Says, I love the infographics, and they are super helpful. I see them shared everywhere. What's your workflow like to get these out, and what would you like to see next in the game? So what's your workflow like? I mean, it's, again, we're talking about the crunch to be first to market and to kind of get that stuff out. But, when news drops, are you guys kind of like ready to go? I mean, I'd imagine there's got to be so much anticipation when news is coming.
Sometimes you can like prepare before something is getting announced, like on community days. Basically, we know that it's always a starter Pokemon, then something random, and then again a starter Pokemon, so we can prepare those starter Pokemon in advance before the announcement drops. Other than that, it's like, yeah, we grab the news and put everything together as fast as we can, working.
Red team go, red team go. It's like everybody on all hands on deck.
Exactly.
Well, we appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you, and we appreciate all the support we are getting from the community, all the positive feedback, and can't thank all the people enough for all the shares, retweets. It's so crazy to get these comments like, it's getting shared here and it's getting shared there in America and over there in, I don't know, Singapore, India. It's like, wow, really? That much?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's really cool.
That's insane.
That's really cool that when things start going international, it's
Spreading worldwide.
Yeah, that's prestige worldwide. That's the best. That's really good. All right, I got one more question for you in closing. Any interest in Harry Potter, Wizards Unite? Anything brewing there in the back of your mind?
Interest? Yeah, but we gotta have hands on the game first to see what potential it would have to create maybe graphics for Harry Potter Wizards Unite, or just play the game on our own. I'm not sure. I don't know what to expect from Harry Potter. I saw a few screenshots here and there. It looks interesting, but I gotta have my hands on first.
It looks real good, man. It looks real good.
I can't say anything until I.
It's out in New Zealand, man. It's out there, and it looks absolutely stunning and phenomenal, and exceptionally deep when it comes to RPG elements. So
yeah, I saw a huge skill tree.
Yeah,
maybe?
It's very deep. It's very deep. So I'm very intrigued, and I'm seeing a lot of the people from the Pokemon Go world start to kind of migrate over and show some interest in creating content for Harry Potter. So now it's like that's a question on my list every time whenever I talk to anyone, because it's like, hey, it's a reality.
The guys at GoHub already have the Wizards Hub created.
Yep.
So they are ready to report about the game.
That's great, man. I'm excited for Niantic. I think that game's going to be freaking huge, and another, just another massive property and a massive game for Niantic. So I'm very excited. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, man. We really do appreciate it. We thank you so much for staying up so late.
Yes.
That's so
Yes,
crazy.
yeah.
Thank
really
you for
do
having
appreciate
me. Really,
that.
really thank you very much.
Yeah, why don't you let our community know where the best places are to find you, and of course everything will be linked in the description.
Yeah, so the best places to find us is by using our name at Couple of Gaming. Would be on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube also. But since we are not allowed to do live streams anymore there because we are a small channel, yeah, we just have to wait and see how live streaming goes over there.
Yeah, you gotta check out DU Recorder, man. You could beat the system. So if you don't know, YouTube changed their policy where if you want to do native streaming through the YouTube app, your channel needs 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone that was streaming Pokemon Go that didn't have 1,000 subs and they were streaming native through their Samsung device, can't do that anymore.
Wow.
Can't do it anymore. So yeah, it
Dropped
put
the hammer.
They did. They made a pretty big impact on a lot of different streamers. But yeah, thank you so much. We'll make sure to send our community your way, and I'm sure we'll see your content out there in the future. But thanks again for everything that you're doing, and best of luck in the future. We really do appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, man. All right, everyone, we'll be back with part 2 of the show in just a moment.